Hey, everybody. It's me, Shay. I run Tanner and Shay on Instagram and TikTok, and I am a widow of about 4 months now.
Hi, I'm Jennifer. You may know me from Coco's Caravan, and I've been a widow 7 years now. Shay and I
That's
met. I know,
such a long
I
time.
know. Shay and I have lots of similarities.
Yeah.
Shay and I actually she slid into my DMs
Cute.
in like 2021, right?
Yeah.
It was a while ago, asking questions about sharing her story with cancer and IVF, and that kind of like,
Yeah, we were, like,
s-
Instagram
yeah,
friends, um, and then the day I think it was the day before Tanner died, I texted you,
yeah.
and I was like, I think Tanner's gonna die, like, he's on hospice," um, and
No, I think I was
or was
like,
it the day?
no, it was that night. I said, "Hey, I've been thinking of you."
Yeah.
And the next morning you texted me that he had
Yeah,
passed.
yeah. Yeah, 'cause you said something like, "Okay, it's probably close," and
Yeah.
I felt that it was close. Um, and yeah, so the next morning, Tanner passed, and then we set up a little, like, walk, hike for
Yeah,
Justin's birthday.
for Justin's
Yeah,
birthday.
for Justin's birthday, the next day.
And that was like the first time we met in person.
Yeah, it was crazy
Yeah.
because 'cause we've been talking for, like, what, 4 years? Yeah, 4
Yeah.
years. So, that's how we met, and today we're gonna be talking about our most asked question
Most asked.
about dating.
Dating. Everyone's I don't know why. It's very everyone wants to know.
Yeah, everybody does wanna know.
But I'm really glad we're doing it for I think it's good. Whether you are a widow or you're not a widow, I think it's good education for everyone.
Yeah, people just they wanna know.
Yeah.
They wanna know.
So we have questions that you guys asked from like both of our accounts, and we're just gonna ask questions to each other. And yeah. So
Okay, I think one of the things we should talk about first that people
yeah.
don't realize is the anticipatory grief that comes before you lose your spouse. Um, you're it's not like you have your spouse and everything about them the whole time and then they die and it's all gone. Like, it is way more gradual than that.
Yeah. We both lost our husbands to cancer and both lived in that world for a long time.
6 years for you?
Yeah, it was like 5 for
5 years.
me.
Yeah, it was like 5 for me too.
It was the highs and the lows, and he's gonna be okay, and then you get bad news, and then you get more hope that he's gonna be okay, and then it's like
It's
the
roller coaster.
emotional roller coaster. Yeah. So, I think it's important to know that you're grieving the difference, between, like, losing, a sudden death versus someone with cancer is, like, you're
Yes.
grieving their death way before they actually die. You're thinking about all the what ifs. What if they die? Am I gonna date again? Am I gonna have should I have all these questions you've already thought about.
Yeah, and you're losing parts of them along the
Yeah.
way. At a
Okay.
certain point, you don't go out on dates anymore because they're too sick. So you, like,
Yeah.
lose that part of the relationship. So we're losing parts of them.
Yeah. As it goes.
Yeah.
So I think it was important for us to talk about that, as people have a lot of thoughts and judgments on when a widow should date again, but you should know from the perspective of someone
Who's a
who's
widow?
a widow and gone through losing their husband through cancer, like, you're grieving them long before, like, you're going through that process. So if you think it's sudden for a widow who's lost someone to cancer, like, "Oh my gosh," it's like these questions have been in our mind for quite a while.
Yeah.
It's not a new concept to
Yeah.
us that this could possibly happen.
Yeah.
So that was something that we kind of wanted to start off this. Just keep that in mind as we're talking about dating.
Yeah. 'Kay, awesome. Okay,
Okay,
wanna go first?
yeah, my first question I'll be asking Shay is, do you believe you'll ever want to be in another relationship again? Like, do you want that for yourself?
Mhm. Yeah, that's a good question. Tanner and I, probably when he was 3 years into his diagnosis, I was like, I'm gonna stay single the rest of my life. I'm never gonna get married." And then I started losing parts of Tanner. Um, I didn't have the whole Tanner anymore,
Yeah.
and I started to grieve that, and I was like, "I really miss those parts of a relationship."
Yeah.
And so at some point, Tanner and I talked about it, and he didn't want me to be alone in this life. And now that I'm a widow, I've thought, like, I don't wanna be alone in this life.
Yeah.
Also, I
We're
have
so
a
young.
baby. Yeah,
We're
yeah,
so young.
and you have kids, I have a baby,
Yeah.
like, I want a partner in life
Yeah.
to change diapers with.
I know.
Luckily, I have my parents and they help, but still, I want a partner and I want that connection, and I've missed it with Tanner for a really long time.
Yeah.
So, what about you?
Yeah, I so that's the difference between Shay and I is even though I it was a very high possibility that my husband could die, we just never had those conversations. And, but after he passed, you really miss that companionship. Like having a companion, it's so amazing. It's like it's Friday night and you're like, oh, what am I gonna do? Oh, I have that person. They're gonna
Mhm.
be there. We're gonna hang out. Like that loss was heavy. Like that was a hard loss to go from like having your person to not.
Yeah,
Like no one's texting you when you get off that 8-hour flight. Miss you, can't wait to see you. Like I want that
yeah.
again.
Even
And
someone sleeping in bed with you,
yeah,
like, I miss that. I make my mom sleep in bed with me
yeah.
because I just miss having a
Like,
person, you
yes.
know?
You get used to that. Like it makes me sad to think that I just would be alone forever.
Yeah.
So I knew that like a companionship is what I wanted.
Mhm.
Um time, when that would be, I didn't know right away, but I just knew that is something I eventually wanted.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Ooh, this is a good one. What signs or feelings do you think would tell you that you're ready to date? You're in the world,
So
so tell me.
I know. So after Justin died, it was still like, even though he had cancer and it was a possibility that he could die, it was still sudden to me. It was still like, what? No, like, no, he was supposed to live. So I was still kind of in that like shock phase a little bit, which is like another, difference, with us. Like you had those conversations, we didn't. So
Mhm.
I was not in the mind space. So I told myself, and I had twin newborns at the time. So I was like, this is the last thing I'm going to think about is dating. So I told myself, I just gave myself a year to like not have to think about anything. Like, I'm not going to try to even think about it. I'm going to tell people I'm not doing it for a year. Don't try to set me up. I'm not getting on the apps. And I really liked that for me. Like, I just could focus on everything else. And then after a year, I think I downloaded a dating app. And then I was like, ugh, I never really took it that serious. But I was, like, a little more open to, like, if someone wanted to set me up.
Yeah.
But it is very, like, personal. Everyone's so different.
Do you remember, like, going on a walk the very next day and I told you the same thing, like, I'm gonna wait, I don't know,
Yeah.
a year to date, um, and then I read this book that talks about being open to the universe, and so now that's what I'm trying to do
Yeah.
is be open to the universe, keep
Yeah.
my options open, but
Yeah.
yeah,
Like, if something happened, I'll try to be open to it.
yes,
But I wasn't, like, actively, like, trying to search
yeah,
for it, if that makes sense.
yeah.
So and it's different because we have little babies, so it's harder to get out and
You can't
yeah,
date
and think about that.
with the little babies,
No.
yeah,
It's like a full-time job.
yeah.
Um
Oh, do you think there's a time frame? Because this question kinda goes with the last, like, do you think there's a time frame that people like, their spouse has to be dead for this amount of time?
Absolutely not.
I know, people say that all the time, "Your spouse" well, not to me, but I've
Yeah,
seen on other widows, like, "Your spouse has been dead for 6 months or a year," and I can just see that they're very
yeah,
judgmental with, like, the time frame.
yeah. And I'm like, until you're in that place,
Yeah,
you just really can't judge.
yeah.
I personally, looking back, I'm so grateful I took time, for me and for my kids. Like, I feel like it was really important to, like, get to know myself, and I've changed so much since Justin died. So it's like relearning, like, who this new Jen is. Which determined like the type of person that I wanted to date. So I feel like for me personally, I loved the time I took to like wait. Um, but again, I was still open to dating. It just wasn't like, the most important thing at the time.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I am grateful for the time that I took because like you are rediscovering yourself.
Yeah. Let's talk about that,
Yeah.
the rediscovering yourself.
Yeah.
Um I feel like people expect us to stay the same
Yeah.
sometimes. Like, I've talked about transformation widow, and I had someone message me and say, like, you just need to like grieve and stop talking about transforming and dating and blah blah blah. And so it just feels like some people think you need to just stay in your bubble of grief
Yeah.
and not change. What do you
Yeah.
think about that?
It was hard because, a lot of your close friends and family are seeing you change, and that is hard for them too.
Mhm.
They're like, "Wait, what?" You know, you're like, "I wish it wasn't this way."
Mhm.
If I had my way, I would have, spent the rest of my life with Justin, and life would have been great. But I was dealt this hand in life, and I'm trying to figure it out. So I feel like everyone just needs to give people grace after, like, any big life change
Yeah.
to let them do what they need to do, and there should be no timeline on it.
Mhm. Amen. Amen to the no timeline.
Yeah,
People always have expectations.
and everyone's so different, like, we
Yes.
went through so similar
Yeah.
situation, and we could totally have different views on
Yeah.
things, so I think that's important to know too.
Yeah. Well, I think, like, when you get married and you've been with someone for so long, they become part of your identity.
Yeah,
And so, like, when you physically lose their presence and their I don't know, physical identity in this life,
yeah,
how I don't really know how you could stay the same
yeah. No,
and not change.
yeah.
So, yeah, that's my 2 cents on that.
This is a good question for you because you and Tanner had these questions and you talked about it before, but does having his permission and blessing to date, like, make it a little easier?
Yes. I think it does make it easier, although I don't have the other aspect of not having his permission, or not having talked about it, so I'm not sure in that area, but for me, I just feel like Tanner wants me to be happy, he wants me to be loved, he wants my daughter to have a dad on this earth,
Yeah.
um, and so it doesn't I don't feel guilt,
Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
I'm not super involved in the dating scene, but I just don't feel guilt for wanting that someday.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
100%.
Yeah.
I We never had those
Yeah.
conversations. Like, if you died, like, will I date again? And it sounds a little selfish, but he's not here and I am. And I'm alone. Like, so I wanna do what's best for me and my boys, and I do think, like, happiness with finding someone again can bring that, and if roles were reversed and he had lived and I died, I 100% would let him do whatever he wants because he's the one living that life
Yeah.
and going through those things. And he didn't have to say it. Like, I knew who he was.
Yeah, I was gonna ask, like, did Justin love you?
Yeah,
Yeah, then
and,
I
like,
feel like he would
right?
want
Like, knowing who he was and what he would want for, like, he 100% would want me to move on and be
yeah,
happy and find someone.
yeah,
So, I think you don't ha you don't have to have the conversations
yeah,
because there's a lot of people who lose spouses to sudden loss
totally.
and don't have that
Yeah,
conversation, but you knew who that person was,
yeah,
and I think that's a good reminder, like, they would want that for me.
yeah, yeah, agreed,
So,
100%. Yep. What was your first date like? How did it feel?
okay, first date after loss, I told you earlier, like, was not gonna do anything for a year, so it had been out about a year, and it was a blind date. Basically, you just have to accept it's just rip the Band-Aid off. It's not gonna go well. It probably isn't gonna be the best date you've ever been on, but I basically just went to say that I did it and to, like, kinda start getting in, like, the mindset that I'm gonna have to date again, and the whole time, the guy talked about, like, his ex, and basically, like, he missed her and wanted to be with her. I'm like,
You're
"This
like, "Same but different?"
same but different." I'm like, "Why are we here right now? Go find her."
Yeah.
But it was so awkward, and we were driving home from the date, and I looked over and he was driving, and I was sitting in the passenger seat, and I was just like, "I hate this. I hate that this random man is driving me, like, Justin should be in the seat." I
Mm,
was so mad. I hate everything. I hate that I have to date again. I hate that I have to date as a mom. It was all coming out, and I think that was good for me and processing all too. I came home and cried. Like, I, like, sobbed after that date. You just have to know that your first date's gonna be a little bit hard and
Weird.
weird, and my bestie at the time, Carrie, who also lost her husband, I messaged her, I swear, at, like, 2 a.m., and she was up, and
Oh,
I was like, "I'm
Carrie.
struggling," and she helped me through that, and it's really good to have that as well when
Mm,
you're starting.
yeah.
So, message me at 2 a.m.
Okay.
I will be up.
Our spouses are mean. That's what I always tell Tanner. "You're so mean for putting me in this situation."
Yeah. What did you when you go to the gravesite?
Yeah, I visit his graveside, like, at least once a week, and I always say, "You're mean, and I love you." I always say that
Yeah.
because I'm like, "I'm mad that you're gone,
I
and I know
know.
you didn't wanna leave, and I'm still mad at the situation,"
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
So, how would you introduce a new partner, um, to, like, your story, to Justin, to your
Okay, this is a
kids?
great
Yeah.
question because like I have quite like I have a social media presence and quite a big following. So
So popular.
when I tell you.
Thank you.
So like I was worried that guys would just like get intimidated
Yeah.
by my Instagram account. Like they would look at all my videos. Like I'm clearly still in love with Justin.
Good.
Like I'm
They should get
clearly
intimidated.
right. Like so at first I was like, oh, I don't want them to know that I do this.
Mm,
So at first I kind of hid it. Like if I'd gone on like a date and and then I realized, no, this is a great way to weed out some red flaggers.
yeah, I totally agree with that.
So I just was like upfront and I'm like, I know that whoever I end up with, if they can accept that side of me, then they are the right person for me.
Yeah,
So I actually ended up loving it, sharing about that
yeah,
because I knew that if they were going to be able to handle that, then they could handle everything else. And that was my number one dating someone. I'm like, if they can't accept that I'm still in love with Justin and that he's going to be talked about in my life around my kids, then that is, I don't want that person.
yeah. Girl, bye.
Bye.
Yeah, bye, girl.
So, that's how I dated.
Okay, okay.
So,
How would you so you brought up your kids. How would you introduce
so I told myself, with dating, because I am dating someone right now, and I just told everyone we've been together for a year now, and I told myself it doesn't matter who I end up with or who I date, like I was gonna wait 6 months. That was just my weird rule for
Okay,
myself. I had known a lot of friends who were divorced, and like they also kind of went by a 6 month thing. I'm like, that seems okay. So that's a good amount of time. So I actually stuck to the 6 month mark, and I'm really happy I did. It was really hard. We would only see each other once a week.
yeah.
Like, whenever I'd have a free night, like, for a while, it was hard to meet up, but I stuck to it, and I feel like it was the right thing for my situation,
Mm,
so
okay.
and then I always talked about my kids, whoever I was going on a date with. Like, that was like, "This is who I am."
Mhm.
So
Okay, I was looking at your rings. Can we talk about
oh, yes,
the
yes,
ring question?
yes.
People always ask about the rings. Oh
Are
my
you
gosh.
still wearing your wedding ring?
Or they're like, "You're not wearing your wedding ring anymore."
Do you yeah. So weird. I took mine off, like, probably, like, the week after he passed. I was so anxious about losing it,
Oh, yeah.
and, like
You anxious?
right?
Never.
No. I'm like, "This means so much more." When
Yeah,
someone dies, like, everything holds, like,
that's so
high
true.
value, so I'm like, "What if I lose it?"
Yeah.
I could actually wear it. It doesn't actually look like a wedding ring. It's so cute, but I'm, like, terrified. I don't know.
Oh,
I
yeah,
probably should wear it more.
yeah. No, I think whatever you wanna do,
Yeah.
do it. I think I don't know. I wear my wedding ring as much as I did
Is
before
this
Tanner died. Yeah,
okay.
this is my wedding ring here, so it's on my right hand.
Mhm.
Um, and sometimes I don't wear it, and it was the same thing
Yeah.
before Tanner died. Like, sometimes I just wouldn't wear it. So, I don't know, people are
It's very, like, personal. Like,
exactly.
there some widows that I know still wear it.
There's, like, a widower that I know, and it was too hard for him to wear his ring. It made him sad.
Yeah, that's yeah,
Yeah,
same a
so
little.
really?
Yeah,
Aw,
because then, like, if someone commented on it or something, you're like, "Oh, it's" like, you feel like I don't know. For a while, I just was like, "It's okay."
Yeah, people are like, "Tell me about your husband."
Yeah.
You're like, "Part of the dead husband club."
Yeah. That's how I got it.
Yeah, yay. Okay.
Okay, another question. What does moving forward, not moving on look like to you?
Ooh, I like that phrase, moving forward, not moving on. I think that's really specific for people that have lost their actually lost anyone, to be
Yeah.
honest. You're not moving on, you're not like you're going to continue loving that person. So you don't move on from that. You just move forward whenever you're ready and whatever that looks like. I think it looks different for every person. For me, I'm in my transformation widow era, and that's like finding out who I am without Tanner physically in my life. Um, I always specify physically because I feel like spiritually is part of
Yeah.
my life. Um, so I think moving forward for me is just trying to find who I am
Yeah.
in the world again.
Moving on, I don't like when people say moving on because it feels like you are letting something go and you're forgetting something and just moving on. But moving forward is this like beautiful imagery of carrying your past with you as
Yeah, I
you
like that.
have this new future.
Yeah.
And I think that is so important to say when we're talking about like dating again is that we're moving forward
I like that.
with everything.
Yeah. We're carrying our, our story with us.
Yeah.
Okay, I like
Yeah.
that. Okay. How do you balance honoring your spouse's memory while opening your heart to someone new?
Um I think a little bit of what we were talking about before is like the importance of I didn't want someone if they couldn't accept that Justin was going to be a part of our family
Yeah.
conversations and like family and um that was like the most important thing to me. But we still have pictures of Justin up. We talk about him, like, I'll talk about him constantly, like, if my boyfriend's around and something brings up a topic about Justin, I always bring it up, I'm always talking about it. We just some of Justin's really good friends just met him for the first time, and I was bringing up stories of Justin because I want people to know, like, friends and family of Justin, and if
Yeah.
they're around me and my new boyfriend, you could still talk about him.
Yeah.
Like, we can still bring him up
Mm.
and keep him present.
Your boy, how does he do with that? Is he chill with it?
Absolutely
Okay.
amazing.
That's
Yeah.
green flag. We like
Green
that.
flag.
Yes.
That was, like, one of the green flags in the beginning that I was like, "Amazing."
I love that.
Very secure in that.
Uh-huh. I so there's a question here that asks like, would you feel like you want to marry a widower?
Oh, yes.
Oh, is that the next question?
Yes. Okay,
Okay,
I'll
wait,
ask you
wait.
this
Yeah.
one. Okay, do you think you prefer to marry a widower, someone who understands that experience? Like,
Okay.
that's a great question. A lot of people ask that.
I was bringing that up because I think when with my widow and widower friends, it feels like it's really easy for us to hold space for hearing stories about our the late spouses.
Yeah.
But it sounds like in your case with your boyfriend that he's able to hold space for Justin.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think initially I was thinking I only want to, you know, remarry or be with a widower because they completely understand the experience of losing your spouse and they're okay with me still loving Tanner. I'm okay with them still loving their person. Um, but I think there are really special people out there like your boyfriend who
Yeah.
can do the same thing.
Yeah. I really wondered
Did you?
if it was possible.
Yeah. Like, what are some misconceptions people have about widows dating again? And I know someone messaged you
Yeah.
about.
Yeah, I had just recently posted a video with my boyfriend and stuff, and someone commented and was like, "Oh, so you have a boyfriend now, so you should be happy." Because the video was showing, like, the highs and lows of transitioning after, like, living alone and all this stuff, and then dating again, and this is one of the hardest misconceptions to hear as a widow, that dating again and finding new love is just gonna completely solve all our problems, and we're just never gonna be there we go, we don't have to grieve anymore.
Mhm.
We're never gonna be sad again or miss that person. So, I feel like it's so important that we talk about these misconceptions, but I was really nervous about sharing that I was dating again
Yeah.
because of some of these misconceptions. I
Mm.
was worried about people being like, "Oh, so you're happy now. We don't have to worry about you. All your problems are going to be solved and you're never going to grieve him." But actually, I got such sweet feedback, and everyone just said the sweetest stuff and the sweetest
Good.
comments. I absolutely loved it. And it was really cute because my boyfriend spent like so much time reading through all the questions.
Stop,
I
that's so
know. So I was like, okay. He's like, it's crazy to see like how much people like already accept and love you. And it was really sweet. He's like, this is crazy. He was like, this is weird. I'm like, I know, right? Like
yeah.
I'm used to like strangers messaging me and he's like getting used to it now.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
He's like, that's amazing. So I think it's important to have these conversations
Yes.
about misconceptions
Misconceptions, so
to
people aren't
help.
so mean.
Yeah,
Ugh.
I know.
Yeah, don't be one of those mean people.
Yeah. Okay, the next question I have is what do you think will be most healing about loving again?
Okay, what will be most healing about loving again? Um, it was just really hard to lose all those parts of the relationship with Tanner and for it to happen just so slowly. There was a lot of grief that came with that, and I really missed those parts of the relationship, and so I think it will be healing to have those parts of a relationship again. Obviously not with Tanner. It will be with someone different, but um I have missed those things.
Yeah.
And so I think it will be healing for me to have them again.
Yeah. I when you like my whole marriage was cancer, 2 months after we got married, he they found the tumor and our whole life has just been like hospitals, cancer, chemo. And I didn't get a lot of those normal newlywed experiences. And even when I was pregnant, Justin was still really sick, which you also experienced. So I didn't get to do like the normal things like, could you go run to McDonald's and get me a burger? Like I could be kind of like play that like, can you rub my feet? Because he was feeling just as sick. And I also my twins he died when my twins were 3 months old, so I never I became a widow and a mom at the same time, like, I never got to share that experience with a partner, and that kinda made
Yeah,
me sad.
that's sad.
So, I feel like loving again is bringing that healing, I guess. Like, I'm excited to experience those things, and, like, I wanted to experience those things.
Mhm. Yeah, that's so relatable. Having someone to share the diapers with,
Yeah.
changing the diapers with.
Yeah, like, that was, like the thought of that was exciting.
Yeah, that is really nice.
Yeah.
Okay. So, in what ways has loss changed how you view love, connection, or commitment?
Um, I was really, really nervous to serious date someone to get to the point where you say, like, "I think I love this person."
Mm,
It was really hard for me, and I really struggled with that. I was so nervous because I know the pain that comes with love. Like the saying, with love comes risk. And I was trying to decide if I wanted that again. I knew I wanted a companion. And I knew I wanted that again. But once I started dating and started to love someone, it terrified me
mhm,
because I was like, what if they die? What if I go through all of this again and they die or I end up in pain? Like, do I want to feel that again? It was I'm very anxious, and that was, like, oh my gosh, caused so much anxiety, like, trying to come with terms, like, could I love someone again?
mhm,
Do I want to? Because the risk and feeling that pain. And I think also what was so hard is when Justin and I had such a great relationship. We were best friends. I loved him, like, we got along so well. I got to experience true love, and then to have that taken away and then be single for so long, like, it terrified me to risk that again
mhm.
because you are risking that every time.
You are.
So, it was yeah, it wasn't easy. Um, I feel like my experience has also helped me, like, really appreciate all my relationships
Mm.
and, like, how important it is to live in the now, and that's why, like, I document
Yes, I'm so
everything.
glad you do.
It's, so important to me to, like, love the now, and it's not just romantic relationships. I just value so much more. It's, like, all my relationships. You really like, after you lose someone like that, what if relationships are just held at such value and importance, and I feel like that is kind of what I've learned a little bit after love after loss, I guess.
It sucks that we had to experience that to realize how
Yeah,
important the
yeah,
present is and to live so intentionally, and I hope other people do not have to go
yeah,
through what we went through
yeah,
to
and it's
realize how
like
important it is.
we and it's not like, we didn't love and have
Yeah,
connection with our
totally.
relationships before, but we just now see
Yes.
a little more clear of, like, how important it is and to hold on to
Yes.
those and be so lucky
Yeah, amen to
for
that.
every relationship you have. We could talk for hours about this.
We really
We
could.
might have to do another dating
Yeah.
episode
If you
in the
have
near
other
future.
questions, put them in the comments.
Um, I think we just kind of want to end on this note of every time I did a Q&A, the most asked question was,
When are
"Are
you gonna
you
date
when are you
again?
dating? Are you dating?" And I know people come from a
Well
loving place.
intended,
Yeah.
yeah.
Um, but just be aware of their timeline and be you know,
And don't assume that if it was your story that you would be doing it a certain
yeah,
way. Like, their story is their own
yeah,
story, and your story hopefully, you never have to be in a story that's similar to ours,
yeah,
but please don't put your timelines and your expectations on widows.
yeah. Like I said, like, everyone is so different. Everyone
Yes.
has different timelines and the way that they process things. And I think you had been going through processing his death, way before he died.
Yeah.
So your timeline is going to look different than someone who just,
Yeah,
a sudden death.
totally.
So just be, you know, mindful of that sensitive question.
Be nice to us sad girls and boys.
Yeah.
That's what I
It's
tell people.
and here, look at me. Like, this is the first time I'm really talking about it and feel okay talking about it. It's been 7 years. So, everyone has
Yeah.
their own thing,
Yeah,
and I
I'm
hope that
excited.
what I hope from this is it helps other widows.
Yeah.
That's my biggest hope. Yeah, and it helps people to understand what other people who haven't lost a spouse, but to help them
I
understand.
hope so too. I
It's
hope so too.
hard.
Yeah.
We don't wanna be we don't wanna be dating
We don't wanna be in this club.
again.
This club sucks.
We wanted our person. So it's a hard
Yeah.
thing, but now that I didn't think I'd have it, and I didn't think I'd find one who would be so accepting of my situation. I didn't think it was possible. I know people said, "Oh, no, I know someone who" I'm like, "Nope, it's not gonna happen to me," but it did. So it is there, and it can happen, and you can hold both,
Yeah.
and I'm really, grateful for that.
Oh, I love you.
I love you. That was
Okay,
perfect.
okay, we'll be back, friends. See you later. Mwah.